If you want to learn from the greatest art teacher in the world, check out Visual Storytelling by Bill Perkins, only at New Masters Academy, the greatest online art school on the planet. Click the link down below for a free 7-day trial and learn from the legends. I am deep in your mind. I am deep in your... Hey everybody, welcome back to the Honey and Absinthe After Hours podcast. We are your host, I'm Vincent, the background designer for the Hollywood animation industry.
And I'm Janet, the ex-Disney artist turned independent creator, and this is a podcast about all things art, business, and whatever we feel like.
Now today we're going to talk about, is TikTok the fastest way to grow on social media in the upcoming year 2022?
But before we get into it, make sure to touch, tickle, press all our bells and buttons over there.
Ooh, just like you, I am nice and plump, and I feel warm. My winter body is coming and ooh, it feels so good. It feels so cozy.
I hope you had a great Thanksgiving.
Ooh, we had a great Thanksgiving.
Arguing with your family members. We certainly had a fantastic Thanksgiving, and you look great this Monday morning.
You look so good. Ooh, oh, so much juice. Okay, so you have been talking for the past few podcasts about how you've been back on TikTok, observing the content, honestly seeing how things have changed since we've stopped looking at TikTok, because man, during COVID, TikTok's kind of the last place I wanted to be.
Yeah, after we hit it so hard too.
Yeah.
And a year ago we were doing TikTok like it was a job. Well, it technically was a job for me, but one of our goals was to get to 200K. It was really difficult at a certain point. God.
But we were hell-bent on doing it. We're like, we have to
there.
get to 200K.
And then once we got there, I was like, I don't care anymore. Because
how do you find, once you reach a milestone, let's say on whatever YouTube, but once you reach your number, it's what's the point anymore?
Yeah, especially if it was all just vanity numbers for you. Obviously, YouTube isn't about the vanity of having a lot of subscribers for me, so I cared about it more and it was just more interesting, whereas TikTok, a lot of it was was the vanity. But I mean, it did help us. It genuinely did. But we stopped because it stopped helping us, and I just felt like TikTok and a lot of other social media apps like Instagram, for example, was distracting us, or was distracting me, taking a lot of time away from YouTube, and because YouTube paid me the most and I liked it the most, and there was the most value in it. I most of the time spent on YouTube is what was making us money, compared to here and there. Advertising on TikTok and Instagram would get us some sales here and there. But for the most part, after reading a lot of business books, I was like, if most of my time is spent on YouTube and that's what's making me money, I should stop doing literally everything else. I know it's scary, but gotta stop doing everything else and focus on YouTube. So we took a year-long break from TikTok. And during that time, I didn't even really look at it. I stopped browsing it altogether, because I was I would browse it just to find trends and other stuff, to stay up to date.
The content was really predictable too.
Yeah.
It'd just be the same old, oh, this is a cosplayer. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is a pretty drawing.
Yeah.
And it'd be the same thing over and over again. And I just thought if I just drop this for a while, how could it possibly change? How much could it possibly change?
Yeah.
Because it felt like it was going nowhere.
Yeah. So recently, I went back to looking at TikTok, partly for like I said in a previous episode, I feel like a boomer now that I truly am old, and we are not Gen Z, so we don't really dictate culture and we don't know what's cool anymore. And the only way to know that is to see what the kids are into. And since we don't have kids and we're for obvious reasons not around kids all the time, there's no real way to do it except to look on social media. But outside of that too, I've been thinking about posting short form content again for a number of reasons that I'll get into. So I want to do my research first. That's like the number one thing you should do when starting a social media app, is not to just start. Even though that's like probably the number one barrier for entry for a lot of people. A lot of people go, oh, I'll do it like when I'm good and ready. But like, honestly, I think there should be a lot of preparation involved, a lot of studying the app, because that's what we did when
we first downloaded it.
TikTok, yeah.
We were like, oh, how do you
do this?
How do you do this? What do other people do?
Yeah.
What kind of people, when people do art, how do they make TikToks about art? Do they just draw in front of the camera?
Yeah. So it was a lot of like, when we first back in, I think 2019? Yeah. Late 2018, early 2019.
I think late 2018.
Yeah. It was when we first started.
Yeah.
We downloaded it and...
We started that Inktober, I think.
Yeah.
Inktober 2018.
Yes.
So that November, that's why I was late.
Yeah, it was like near the end of TikTok, and it was because of Gary Vee. I had like a huge Gary Vee phase where he's all I would listen to at the gym. And he kept talking about LinkedIn is like the new Facebook, but then he was also talking about this TikTok, and he's like, you gotta start. I kept talking to you about it, and then you're like, okay, fine, let's finally download this app, and we did, and we studied it immediately. We were really intrigued because
it was unlike anything I've ever seen before.
Yeah,
it was kind of like, I mean, of course, like Vine. It was the most similar, but it was like on steroids.
Yeah,
the time was like really, really short.
Like
right?
30 seconds.
Man.
And you took to it immediately. I was just curious about whatever it was like.
I was like, I'm thinking of a million ideas.
Yeah.
Because the way people were using it, it was just like, you know how you record stories on Instagram? You just like take snapshots of your day. It was like that on steroids. It was just like people almost vlogging their day. Yeah. I would see that kind of stuff and I'd be like blown away. Because, like, what a neat way to tell, like, a mini story in 15 seconds.
Yeah.
You know, that's the craziest part. I was like, oh, wow, we should do that.
I think literally that day, since we were doing Inktober anyways.
We were doing a convention.
Yeah.
And then we were like, oh, let's make a TikTok about waking up in the morning and getting ready and going to a convention. We were just doing it as we were doing the convention. And honestly, that's the best way to do TikTok.
Yeah, actually,
As impromptu, as guerrilla style, as verite as you can, just like bing bang boom.
Yeah.
Because the more you like rehearse it and the more it feels batched, it's just like it doesn't feel good. It gets stale.
Feel right, yeah. At least at the time.
Yeah.
At that young, compared to a lot of the people who got onto TikTok like 2017, like literally the year before, or even the summer of 2018, we were already considered late. But we did notice literally everything we posted went viral. It was so easy to get 10K views on nothing. You posted some of the most stupid about nothing TikToks and it would magically get 10,000 views.
It was insane back then. It was insane because we were like the only people doing the kind of content we were doing.
Yeah.
Which is like shocking now because like no way.
Yeah.
I feel like everything on TikTok has been done by now.
Yeah.
But at the time, people were still like, people didn't really do transition drawing videos.
Yeah.
That wasn't really a thing.
That was.
And we were just like, hey, let's like do this thing that people do because like that's a thing that people do. Like they do just like fun videos where it's like they're like lip syncing a music video, let's say. And it's all about the transitions of the swipes and whatever, getting from shot to shot in the most creative way. And we're just like, oh, let's just do that with drawing.
Yeah.
And then it just like idea after idea after idea just came out. And then people had like, at the time, I don't know how it changed, but like people had like these trends, you know? Like, for example, some dude just, you know, almost dropped his water bottle and then caught it. And that's like the stupid trend. And you're like... And we're like, oh, how do us dumb artists like
take part.
in that. Like, oh, we'll use the ink bottle.
Yeah.
Just something stupid. And that shit was so fun, man.
Was so
and like,
fun, yeah.
if you missed out on like TikTok, I mean, I think you still have it now.
It's different
but
now.
it's different now. Like, how is it different now?
So that was so fun. And when we hit around like, I want to say 80K was when everything changed. Like literally a few months after, we had this period of time where we grew to 80K like in no time at all, like in like a month. But then I think around like early 2019 or 2018, 2020, sorry, the algorithm changed like really drastically. And it just keeps changing, and it keeps getting harder to get seen and to grow, because right after we hit around 80K-ish, people, TikTok started getting really saturated. Like people like us, a lot more people like us started getting on it, and it stopped being known as like an app for like 15-year-olds.
Yeah, we started seeing people as old as us. Like we were like some of the earlier 20 plus people on the app, but as soon as we start seeing more, I think what really was the sign of like, oh, this isn't going to be cool anymore, was when we saw celebrities take photos.
I was like, oh god,
this is the worst.
You guys don't even know how to do it right. And so the algorithm changed, and I noticed noticeably a lot harder to get views. Artists started to get less and less and less and less views. It was so easy for animators and artists to get views before and to find their audience. Same with like cosplayers and dancers and sometimes just random comedians. Or just random viral people who like literally just said something relatable or something, and then they went super viral. It was so easy, but then it slowly got more and more difficult, to the point where like it was a slog to get to 200K with our type of videos. We were trying to take advantage of trends. We were trying to draw a lot of My Hero fan art, because you know, we know from being early adopters of TikTok that like anime was like the next thing.
We were shocked about how many people were in anime.
Yeah.
And how like it was a different world compared to Instagram.
Yeah.
Like in Instagram, you wouldn't think like there's a new renaissance for anime fans. Mm-hmm. But then when you go on TikTok, it's just like, oh my god, every other video, almost every video was about anime in some way.
Yeah, and it was kind of how I knew comics were on its way out, at least for the younger generation, because we would test. I would, put up some of our, nice transitional TikToks of anime characters, and then we would do the same thing with our comic characters, like Scarlet
Black Widow.
Scarlet Witch, whatever. And because it would be like a commission I got or something, might as well turn into a TikTok. And surprisingly, or not so surprisingly for us, that like, I don't know, my dumb little drawing of Midoriya would get like 100K views, and then the
would get like
nothing.
10K, 5K.
Yeah. And I was like, interesting. I think for whatever reason, Marvel and comic book characters are not so popular with the kids, and like that's it. But at the same, like we would take those. We would get really good at these fancy transition drawings. We would take advantage of like the trending sounds. We would take part in trends as much as we could, and even doing all those things, it became so difficult for us when we were so used to getting like 100K on views. It slowly turned into like 50K, 20K, 10K, and we weren't doing anything different. So it became this huge slog just to get to 200K. And by the time we finally got to 200K, I was just like obligatorily doing these drawings every single week, to have these posts on Instagram, to post on TikTok. But like for what? Like they weren't getting the same amount of views anymore, and I was making a lot more money on YouTube anyways, so I decided to stop. And I wasn't the like after algorithm change after algorithm change it just became really demoralizing. I think for a lot of people, well, we weren't the only ones who know. Like literally everyone who started TikTok around the same time we did, or even earlier, started noticing these things. And you know, we have friends on TikTok. I would regularly go and check their numbers as well, and everyone who we started with started having like a dip in numbers for whatever reason, and they were like just so desperate, like just it's the grind, like we all know, post 3 times a day, post 5 times a day if you can, post as much as you can
right before you go to bed,
yeah,
in between showers, like every single little moment you can.
Yeah, so all of us, we were on this like crazy grind, but I was like, okay, I need to stop because this is not worth it anymore. So now, you fast forward like a year later, I go, okay, short form content is kind of a big deal, and we're starting like a new secret project for next year. Well, like I'm thinking like it would really benefit us to start posting short form content again, not only to take advantage of TikTok, because honestly, TikTok, I think, did play a huge part in our growth on YouTube.
I like making TikToks.
Yeah.
It's the funnest thing. Like,
yeah.
I like posting a picture on Instagram. I remember how fun that was.
Yeah.
Like in college, like after I graduated college.
Mm-hmm.
But then learning how to make a fun TikTok was like making a good Instagram, but then like twice as fun.
Yeah.
Because you could tell a story.
Yeah.
I mean, the most you could do is like make an Instagram story or make an Instagram video, but like, man, this was something else. It's forced you to be really creative and think outside the box.
Yeah,
you know?
I had a lot, because you actually had a lot more experience at the time with Instagram video and stories than I did, so I had a lot of learning to do, but I picked it up really fast.
Yeah.
So you fast forward now, and I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure I need to go and study TikTok again just to see what's trending, how do I do this again, but now in a different way, because I don't want to do art TikToks. I don't necessarily want to do what we used to do, because clearly it didn't work by the time we were at 200k. Like technically you can still do that, and it might still occasionally get views, and it might pop off and might go viral every one video in, I don't know, 20 was kind of my ratio at the end there. Like I would have to post so many things, and then one of them might get like 20 something k views. But I knew that like I have a lot of studying to do because I'm catching up, and a lot has changed.
And we were only gone for about a year?
Yeah.
A year.
Yeah, just a year. Wow. A lot has changed. So what has changed, the biggest thing actually, is TikTok is no longer just 30-second videos.
What?
I think they're as long as 3-minute long videos.
Whoa.
They can get pretty long. If I'm mistaken, it's anywhere between 1 minute to 3 minute long videos, and they're vertical videos, and you think that that's not a huge change, but that changes everything. Like when you do TikTok, your strategy, because the shorter the form the content, the longer the watch time has to be. And not only does the watch time have to be long sometimes, if it's like short form content, you kind of also need double watch time. Like they're counting like rewatchability. Are people looping, going all the way to the end and looping back to the beginning?
Whoa.
Yeah.
So that incentivizes you as a storyteller. Like, how am I going to make the audience immediately after the video want to watch the video?
Yeah. So
you gotta be a real Christopher Nolan of TikTok.
Kind
you know
of,
what
yeah.
I mean?
When it was 30 seconds, it was so easy for us. Like, basically, this is the formula back in 2020. If you were beautiful, if you were flashy, meaning a lot of transitions, a lot of camera work, a lot of like ADD type content.
Because lots of kids were on it.
Yeah, and that's how you want to get your 30 seconds, your stuff.
Look at this. Look at this.
Look at that. Yeah. As long as it's big, bright, beautiful, a lot of motion, a lot of text, a lot of whatever, and it's like ADD inducing. It truly is. That's the stuff that worked. But it stopped working the minute they introduced longer, minute-long videos, because it allowed people to make longer content. And what makes people stay when your content is longer? And for a really long time, a lot of people didn't know what to do with the extra time.
Like, because imagine you can't fast forward through any of this.
Yeah.
So you really have to give the audience member really good reason to stick around longer than 15 seconds.
Yeah, you can't just bank on your beauty anymore. You can't just bank on your cool dance. You can't just draw something really beautiful and make a lot of transitions and expect that will get a lot of views. Even a short little animation, like animation was really, really popular on even something like that. How does it compete with a 1 minute long video that algorithmically it's getting people to watch all the way through to the end and rewatching it? In the algorithm, that's going to favor the longer form content that has higher audience retention than the 15-second, 30-second clip. That even if people watch all the way to the end, the 1 minute one is making people stay on the app 3 times as long. So of course, the algorithm is going to favor longer videos, but also longer videos that make you stay, that you watch all the way to the end, compared to short. Like, some people started making not even 30-second long videos. They would make like 10, 15, back in the day, because that would make people rewatch over and over again. It's so short. So almost automatically, the shorter the video you made, the more viral you had, the more chances of going viral you got. Like, the algorithm was just faulty that way. But now it's different. It's like almost the opposite. So that changes a lot of how your content strategy. Well, you can't just be flashy anymore. You can't just be beautiful or whatever. So I even noticed that Charli D'Amelio has dropped in views because she, like, literally you don't know anything about her. It's what I call like a dancing monkey. The really frustrating thing I had about TikTok,
that was our approach to TikTok.
Yeah.
Dance, monkey, dance. Draw the thing.
Okay,
draw
I'll
that
draw
character.
the thing for you.
Dance, monkey.
Okay, I'll do it. My biggest problem with TikTok was that's all it was. You didn't develop a relationship with the person on the other side. So I started feeling like a dancing monkey. Like, I felt like people didn't value who I was, and they just wanted me to do the thing. And the thing was like, draw my hero, or and I felt very like, I want to build an audience that wants more, that is interested in me. So at the time we were doing like vlogs here on YouTube, and we were doing a lot, like, it felt like people wanted me and our content for more than just like, oh, do the dancing monkey thing. That's one of the biggest reasons why I stopped posting on TikTok. But now I think it's actually because the length of time is getting longer and longer, it's incentivizing that again. So I come back and I'm noticing, yes, not only is it not good to have your same 2020 strategy of growing on TikTok, everyone who has retained that strategy, everyone who we came up with, not getting a lot of views, not really growing all that much anymore. People think they're shadow banned, but no, I think it's genuinely your content isn't what people want anymore. And that, like, I had to step away from it for an entire year to see that.
Because if you were in it, you couldn't see.
Yeah.
You couldn't see past all of it. Like, oh, this is what I've always done.
Yeah.
And once in a while, it works.
Yeah. And I started seeing a whole new type of content that I wasn't used to seeing on TikTok.
So people are probably thinking and trying to imagine, like, what is this then? Like, what could people possibly be doing on TikTok that's so different?
It's story time content. It's
just like the YouTube stuff.
Just like the YouTube stuff. Exactly. Like, there are a few new niches and types of TikToks that weren't even possible when we were first on TikTok. So these story time, I talked about like drama TikToks before, about how people would like, you know, on other people, bully other people, and like tell these crazy stories about how like the drama in their life or whatever. And I didn't like it, but that clouded my view of this other really important thing that I started noticing only because I've been on TikTok a lot, doing a lot of research. But there's this whole genre of story time where I follow this guy. He used to work in a psych ward. So he just talks about his psych ward stories.
Adventures with psych ward guy. Basically,
and like crazy stories that would happen. There's this other girl that I follow. She used to be a server in restaurants. So
Adventures of Server Bus Girl.
All the crazy Karens that she would meet and her crazy, like all that stuff. And she's like such a great storyteller. Things like, we talked about Thai Verdas before, but really understanding that like a song can go for like a minute. How do you get someone to watch all the way to the end? That's more difficult than you think. And it could just be as simple as you talking to camera at the beginning and being like, I want you to listen to this song and to feel happy by the end of it, okay? And then so you as an audience member, you go like, we'll see about that.
Yeah.
and you want to listen to the end because just with that simple intro. And it's stuff like that that's like completely different. So I started realizing, oh, these people, I'm starting to like these people as people. I'm starting to get to know who they are because I'm spending more time with them. Like this girl, I'm obsessed with her server stories because she's so good at telling the story. There's so much drama involved, and just like I know her name, I know her personality, who she is, and I want to get to know more of her. So like a lot of the times the people who are beautiful, it's so easy for their TikToks to pop off. But once they pop off, they might follow it with like a makeup routine thing, and they're talking to camera and going like, this is how I look so beautiful every day. And that didn't used to exist on TikTok at all. And I was like, oh, it's a different game. It's starting to turn into YouTube. A lot more like YouTube than, and it addressed all the issues I had with TikTok right before I stopped posting there. And I was like, oh yeah, like I think short form content, like my instincts are correct that I need to start doing it again. I need to start learning how to do it this new way. And I think it's the future. I think like if short form content is getting longer and longer and turning into long form content, basically there's this middle ground there that like Vine used to kind of have, because it was a Vine like I forget how long it was.
It wasn't really that into Vine.
But this like minute to 3 minute long like video thing, it's like somewhere in between a TikTok and a YouTube. And I think people are in there now, less into YouTube long form, and they're not even necessarily into like 30-second anymore. They're in this like 1 minute to 3 minute long kind of thing. I have been listening to How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, and anybody who is an INTJ should probably listen to this book because it's a very important skill to have, people skills. It'll help make you more money, trust me. And if you would like to listen to this book, head over to audibletrial.com/the Honey and Absinthe podcast to get one free audiobook. I really recommend this one. That's audibletrial.com/the Honey and Absinthe podcast. Every app creator wants people to spend more time on their app.
I see.
And I think TikTok just wants more people to stay on their app for longer. And I think TikTok was responding to YouTube Shorts because from the get-go, I think YouTube Shorts, you could post 1 minute or longer short form content as a short, and I think actually more than Instagram Reels, I think TikTok understands their biggest competition is YouTube. And YouTube understands their biggest competition is TikTok.
Because what? Because TikTok, if TikTok could become the next YouTube, that would kind of be like the best thing for them as a company.
Yeah.
Huh. What does that mean? They don't even see Instagram as competition anymore?
I don't think so.
I really am the more I think about Instagram, the more I think it's just Facebook for millennials.
Yeah.
I just don't care to participate in that anymore.
Yeah.
It started with MySpace. You know, everyone's like, oh, I want like 100 billion friends. And then like TikTok kind of like took that weird fucked up thing that we had in middle school and then dialed it to 11.
Yeah.
And then now, I don't know. I just feel like now TikTok's allowing people to become literally the next celebrity. And what I mean by celebrity in 2022 is like influencer, internet person, random schmo, random human being out in the wild can just like, suddenly become a sensation. Whereas in before, everyone wanted to just like have a billion trillion followers.
Yeah.
But now it's almost like the barrier of entry to becoming internet famous is starting to look more and more like being Hollywood famous.
Yeah, it's crazy to me that like millennials like us and Gen Z are aware of the business aspect of social media more than like older millennials and boomers. I've noticed that Gen Z and younger millennials like us, it's not all vanity. A lot of them understand this is a business, and like they're doing this because this is a career path that they chose, not necessarily because of I want numbers.
I think that's the biggest separating factor between millennials and Gen Zers.
Yeah,
I think millennials are like, my dream career of working at Disney or DreamWorks, that's what I'm going to show off, but in the meantime I'm going to have all these random people follow me and love me. But then like now it's like, someone like, do you think someone like Pokemon gives a shit about numbers?
No, I don't.
I think she gives a shit about money.
Yeah. And having good numbers is like, this quarter in my business I did this much in money. Like I don't think she thinks about it in that way. I don't think anyone who does social media as a job thinks about it in that way. I think you truly have to be really narcissistic and vain to truly just do it, because at a certain point,
someone who works at Hollywood.
Yeah. Like I think the only reason celebrities are on social media is for that, because like they have money. Like what are you doing? If I already had money, why would I do this? Like I just peace out on my private island, on my private beach, and just like live. Because that's what, like, all the celebrities that don't have social media, I respect them so much. Because I'm like, you're rich. You're a gazillionaire. Like, don't do this to yourself. But yeah, and I think, so like, you got into TikTok a lot faster, in my opinion, because of your experience with Instagram. You kind of missed the train.
Oh yes, I missed the train. I think I told the story before that like in college, that's like I think 2019. No, not 2019. Sorry, 2009. 2009, 2010. Around that time, 2009, 2010. Yeah. One of my friends was like, "Hey man, you should make an Instagram, man, because like you could be like Instagram famous." And I just be like, "What, that thing that you post like
your breakfast
or your restaurant meals on? Like what's so great about that?" And then I think I realized when it was way too late, when I was about to graduate, that like, this is like, I didn't realize people, I had the thought of like, could people use Instagram like they did with DeviantArt? Like I swear that crossed my mind, but I was like, nah, no way. But like, because I was like, that culture of like, making art, especially on the computer, that was so browser. Yeah. It's such a browser thing to do. But then like as time went on, people liked the immediacy of like, this is my coffee shop sketch, man. Yeah. That's what I did. It's what I'm doing in the morning. And then being a part of your life that way, like, what did they post? in the morning. Oh, look at them. That was when Instagram was chronological too.
Yeah.
So when like you followed somebody, first you would actually see them when they post, and then second, you would see them in chronological order instead of algorithmic whatever. And man, like that was, I felt like I caught Instagram at the tail end of like when it was really good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the same way we caught TikTok, like almost a decade later.
I would say if you were to go on TikTok now, it would be the same equivalent time frame to when you caught on to Instagram.
Yeah, so like getting popular on TikTok now is like trying to get popular on Instagram in 2014.
Yeah.
Imagine how hard it was then. It was pretty tough already.
Yeah.
You know?
And I would always say like it's not impossible to grow on an older app like Instagram, an older website like YouTube now. It just takes a lot more work. So like if we were doing what we were doing on Instagram and going as hard as we would have back in like the day when it was like hot, we would have
be over.
Been over 100K by now.
Yeah.
For sure. But, you know, we did grind our way to 50K slowly, very, like, comparatively slowly. But, like, with TikTok, we were over 50K in, like, the first
like that
week or something. Yeah.
We had a lot of followers really fast. It was the craziest thing. I would just open up TikTok and just, like, followers like almost every single alert was a new follower. It was insane.
So it is possible. Like I think yes, you are probably late to TikTok if you're only starting TikTok now, but it is still very possible because like these people I'm talking about, like the psych ward guy and the server girl, I think they're recent. I don't remember them when we were on, like, TikTok was such a small world that you kind of knew everyone. Yeah. Like you kind of knew who were the biggest like TikTokers, who were like the people you kind of regularly see go viral, and then like the new people you have no idea who they are and you just scroll past them because they have no idea how to do TikTok. But then these people, they're pretty big. And I'm pretty sure they're pretty recent because I've never seen them in my life. But because, like, you know, things are changing. What's popular on TikTok is not what was popular on TikTok a year ago. And it's becoming a completely different app than what we were used to. I think if people think TikTok is not for them a year ago, check it out again. Because you'd be surprised. Like, it's a little bit different now.
You said you trained the algorithm to not show you annoying people. But I feel like that's the biggest fear that everyone who's like really elitist, they're like, oh, I love Instagram. I am so unrelatable. I love Instagram. I cannot possibly do this TikTok thing. They're really worried that like it's full of annoying people. Oh. Like how do you train the algorithm to not serve you annoying people? Is it impossible?
Oh, I see. To train the algorithm is, first, you have to like get used to TikTok and like what's being served to you. So, for example, I really don't like any kind of politics on my TikTok. I go to TikTok to smile.
Yeah. You go to Twitter to rage.
Yes. So I don't care about, you know, all that gender stuff that's really popular on TikTok because a lot of kids are into that stuff, non-binary or whatever. I don't care about, you know, politics and the Karen in your family that you hate and all that. Like, I don't. Like, if I wanted to rage like that, I look at the news. But, like, I specifically go to TikTok because I just want to laugh. And I want to have, like, I want to smile.
It's honestly what we came to TikTok in the first place for. It was we would genuinely laugh out loud at the ridiculous shit people would do on that app.
So, but the thing is, like, one, you don't know what is about to be served to you, and so you have to like watch through some of like something you didn't really want to watch, and you just feel upset after watching, and you you're upset that they took 30 seconds to a minute of your life away, and then you're just like, God. But then the algorithm, because you watched all the way through, because it's like a train wreck all the way through, you can't stop. The algorithm thinks you want that, so they start serving you more of that, and then you go, can you not? So now that you are aware of what those type of TikToks look like, the minute it pops on your screen, scroll. Just like, nope, I'm not watching that. So like, for example, a lot of drama TikTok I don't like, news TikTok I don't like. I'm so accustomed to seeing it on my dash at a certain point that I just like scroll past. No. And then when you train it with what you do like and allowing it to watch all the way through the end. So like, I understood that that's how the algorithm works, because I've gone viral on it before. So when a cat TikTok is being shown to me, even if it's not like the best quality cat video, I'm still going to let it go all the way to the end, because I want the algorithm to show me more cute cat videos.
Do you think the camera's spying on your face and like looking at your pupils dilate?
Probably, actually.
I bet, man. I bet.
Probably. So now my TikTok is full of cat videos and husky videos for whatever reason.
Like every other time, like I hear you on TikTok, because it really sounds like a bunch of random things happening. It's usually a bunch of random cat things happening.
Yeah,
it's fun.
So that's how you train it, and that's how you know. That's how the algorithm works. People need to watch all the way. If they're not watching all the way to the end of your video, you made a bad video that people scroll past. So
let's say there's some random person in the audience who's still like, oh, I don't know about being on the internet because there's so many options. Like, oh, I know it's really important these days, but like you could be on the Twitch, you could be on the YouTube. Why is TikTok, is TikTok the way? What is the way for someone who hasn't started doing stuff like that?
Well, I would say if you want to make money online, because there's a lot. I had a really big struggle with social media before I became someone who makes money online. I didn't understand the value of social media because I didn't see it as a place that you can make money online. But once I discovered all these like how to make money online videos and how to grow on Instagram, I finally understood why I personally like apps like Instagram, because I am not as much as people would like to think. I'm not a narcissistic human being, and I am not vain in the least. If tomorrow I had $1 million, I'd probably disappear on the face of this planet and just grow my vegetable garden or something.
You begrudgingly always put your makeup on.
Yes.
I hate it.
I hate it. Being a woman sometimes, and I don't like putting on my face because it takes too long. I just... What?
I like that Janet's a woman.
Oh, I heard something different.
What did you hear?
I don't think Janet's a woman.
No!
Yes. I understand all the people who think social media is so vain and narcissistic. I get it. But I also think like it's one of the greatest opportunities you have to like make money with whatever it is you want to do. If you want to be an artist and sell your art, if you want to be a musician and sell your music, if you literally want to be a dancer and you just want to be paid to dance, to do whatever. Like there's now such a low barrier. You don't need to work at a place like Disney. You don't need to be a Rocket or whatever. You don't need to be signed to whatever label to become like known. Like you could just be known on the internet. Like that's how so many musicians and people online do it. So there's so much value now to being on social media to make money online. And if I were to give anyone advice on how to do it now, I would say like, I guess pulling like a Gary Vee card. Everyone does need to become like a multimedia company. The first skill that you need to learn is how to tell a story using video. And the best video right now really is short form content, which is really beneficial for everyone who has a smartphone. You don't necessarily need a camera, like a fancy Sony camera or whatever, and then which means you don't need to learn how to use it. But everyone knows how to use the video app on their phone. You know how to pull up the camera and be like, oh, I'm filming myself. And you don't even have to turn the phone sideways to shoot vertically. You literally, if you don't even know to do that, you can just do, like, everyone knows now, like, this is just how you film yourself. It's vertical video, don't fight it, when it comes from a phone. So because of all of that, I think the best thing for anyone to start doing, if you were to pick one thing, is to start short form content, because you can now post it everywhere. You can post it on YouTube, you can post it on TikTok, you can post it on Instagram. All these, like, it's killing so many birds with one stone. And I think if you do short form content, you learn how to do that well, then, you know, learn how to do long form video content, all that stuff. But the fact that you don't even need an editing software a lot of the times, you don't need fancy color correction. You have a smartphone and it can do crazy things now. You can put like a beauty cam on it, make your face look different, smooth your skin out. It has cinema mode on the new iPhone to make that bokeh. You don't even need fancy lenses on your iPhone anymore. It's so easy. It's so easy to literally whip out your phone when you're playing your guitar, when you're vlog your day, like do whatever. You can literally just do that and just try it, and like you have the potential to go viral. And like you asked me right before we shot the podcast, as like one of our friends who's do you think he can go viral? And he's like just average dude who is not like Charlie D'Amelio, let's just say that. You know what I mean? Like someone who's average looking, who's not like
average everyday person,
like stick thin and like does competitive dancing to be that thin. Can someone like that still go viral these days? And I think and I immediately thought, there's so many TikTok dads or TikTok moms, like there are, and they're not like the dad that got TikTok and want to be cool. It's not that. It's their kids accidentally randomly posted like a funny relatable video of them. They didn't want any part in this TikTok. What they don't even know what TikTok is. They don't know
suddenly became a thing though.
Yeah,
super viral.
And like they're like, this one I'm thinking of, this girl literally, she takes a video of her dad about to open a watermelon that he grew in his garden. And it's like this giant watermelon, and he's like so proud of it. He's gathering the family. I'm like, come look at this watermelon that I grew. And the family's like waiting in anticipation. He cracks it open, and the family's reaction's like a overwhelmingly like, wow, that's amazing. They're like applauding this dad. And he has this like sweetest like blushy smile, like, and very like proud of like his watermelon baby that he made, like probably more proud of it than like he is of his own daughter. And everyone in the comments are like, he literally looks like the dad emoji in your iPhone. And they're saying like, oh, he's so cute and everything. He had no part in making this TikTok. He didn't even realize it was probably going to go on TikTok, but it goes crazy viral. And after that, a lot of the times these kids are smart enough to know, if I just do this again, my dad is going to go viral again, because now everyone has followed me for my dad content. And like people will make full-on businesses around these things. Obviously it becomes more staged, and like people are they know, you know, what's up now.
Never as good as the first time.
No, but the fact that someone can like accidentally go viral like that, and like accidentally make a whole business out of literally their dad being cute or whatever, I was like yes, I think literally like you never know. You never know, like that could be you and you just need to be on the app making that content.
Yeah, and then the reason why people do like 5 of them a day is like, oh man, one of these. It just takes one of these, man.
Yeah, and it really does. Like when Gary Vee told us to do like 3 videos a day, that was when every single one would pop off. And then it became one of the 3 videos would pop off.
Yeah.
And then it became you need to do 5 and maybe one will pop off. And it just became too much. But now that you know the strategy is like make stuff that people want to watch all the way to the end, you will probably have a higher chance of popping off once you know that.
So for the person who's thinking, oh, I want to be on the internet, but there's so many things, is TikTok or this new like short form fad, is this like something that's worth trying for most people? Is it even necessary for most people?
I think there are a lot of people who have been doing content even much longer than we have, who are like trying their best to not partake. They're like, oh, I do YouTube videos. I do like 10-minute long content, or
I do Instagram.
Yeah, I do Instagram.
Yeah.
I take photos. I don't do video. I think yes. I think about a year ago when I stopped doing TikTok, I would have said no, because I would be like, just do whatever it is you're good at. But I think now that short form content is evolving in a way I didn't expect at all, I think it is necessary, because I think it's here to stay. I think everyone thought it's just a fad, and especially since I tried it out for like 2 years, I thought it was too at a certain point, because it started getting stale. I got really bored after a while. Even when I would be on TikTok, I wasn't that engaged. So I found
you didn't want to consume TikToks.
Yeah. So that's again a big reason why we left. We stopped posting, because if I didn't want to look for trends and for the business aspect of it, the appeal of being on it completely left for me. Because at least on Instagram, I'm like peering into other people's lives and seeing like what they're up to. With TikTok, I truly was like, I don't care anymore. But then when I came back, this new type of content is keeping me on the like I am genuinely on it now for pleasure, not just for business, like we used to. Like it wasn't just for business at the beginning. It was fun. It was something I liked to engage with and comment on and stuff like that. And I think it is necessary, because I think in order to, like, you probably will have a really difficult time growing now on TikTok if you were to start now, but it will help you, because everything that you learn by learning how to make this type of content will help you in the next app and the next thing. Because when we were late to Instagram, we kept going like, we're a little overdue for the next Instagram. Like Instagram took over and Facebook made Facebook basically irrelevant, and now TikTok is taking over and making Instagram basically irrelevant. And when that happened, we adapted so much faster than we did when we first got on Instagram, because we did have experience with making content regularly for Instagram. We knew how to make it Instagram video. We knew how to make Instagram stories. So the transition to TikTok was really, really, really fast for us. Versus at the time, a lot of our friends, they were big on Instagram because they started earlier than us, but they had no idea how to make Instagram videos.
You mean TikTok?
No, I'm talking about Instagram.
Oh, Instagram videos.
Yeah. Like, we have people who we know who are really big on Instagram, but not because they did anything, but because they joined Instagram in the time that we're saying that was good to join Instagram. But they never, because of that, they never learned how to do Instagram video. They never learned how to take advantage of Instagram stories. Because we were late to the party, we took advantage of Instagram video, because that was the only way to grow. We took advantage of Instagram stories, and we took advantage of Instagram Reels right when it came out. doing all of that made it so like transitioning over to TikTok was so easy. And then transitioning from like TikTok to YouTube, that's hard. That's really hard. And even TikTokers who have like millions of followers, they struggle with transitioning from TikTok over to YouTube, because YouTube is where the money is at. YouTube was at the time where people can learn who you are and see vlogs and stuff like that. With now that like they're training people in a way to learn how to make longer form content, it's great training wheels. It's great to like, why not learn how to grow on TikTok now that it's harder, and really figure it out. Figure out how to make longer form content. Figure out how to tell a story. Figure out how to keep someone's attention for a minute. 3 minutes. That's actually one of the best exercises that you do in college for film, for commercials. You start with, how about you like try to keep someone's attention for 30 seconds. How about that? Because before you do it, that's really hard. Before you actually succeed at doing it, it's really hard. And once you figure out how to do that, now do 1 minute. That's a long time. And
compared to 30 seconds, it's like eons.
Yeah. So like a lot of people don't know how to do that.
How do you keep someone interested for 1 whole minute?
Yeah. And now up it to 3 minutes. Now you got, that's why like short films, when you're learning how to do short films for like college or whatever, to write your own film or whatever, you should probably start with like 3 minutes. 3 minutes is like a music video. Start with something small and simple. When you can do that, then graduate to like 5, graduate to 10. And that's why like, I wonder if the reason why so many directors these days, so many movies are so bad is because I don't know where people are hiring these people, but like to me, like have you even done a YouTube video, like a little short for your college? Have you literally done it before? Because like the minute someone gives you a 90-minute runtime on a movie and you've never done it before, that's hard. Of course your movie's gonna suck if you've never done it. Even like a 10-minute, keeping someone's attention for 10 minutes. That's why, in my opinion, I think YouTube is like the greatest training grounds for if you want to eventually do like a TV show or a movie or something like that. Because like look at Mr. Beast, you're basically doing like a little episode of your TV show at this point for your YouTube channel. It's like 30 minutes long. It's basically a TV show. So I do think short form content is necessary. I think if you can't even do short form content, good luck with YouTube.
Okay, then what if they're like, okay, I'm gonna do short form content. Now what? Like how do they, what chance do they have? How do they excel at this? What's a winning strategy? Are there any strategies?
The strategy I have, and it's probably not going to help the majority of you, but if you're smart, because this is what our teachers told us, and it's never failed, it's to be a good storyteller. What does that mean? It's like you can learn the hero's journey. You can learn all these like techniques in writing, basically, of how to tell a good story. And part of it now is being a good presenter. Like how do I share it? How do I act it? How do I, be personable on camera? That's a skill too. Like actors, some people are like have the gift of gab and are very charismatic, but like most actors had to practice in front of a mirror. On video is like one of the best things you can, to like film yourself and then to watch yourself back. It's really hard for me to do that because I cringe at myself constantly, but it's really important. I couldn't have gotten this good at speaking, and I'm not even that good at speaking. I was much worse before though. If I didn't do that, like force myself to film YouTube videos, multiple YouTube videos every single week, force myself to talk in a podcast for an hour or more every single week. Until I did that to myself, I couldn't get here, and I still have a long way to go. But like some of these people, the reason why they're succeeding is because they're amazing storytellers. They have like the whole package of like being able to tell it and knowing what is like the punchline, or what is like the hook, the thing that gets them at the very beginning, or like the thing that they need to save to the end to make it satisfying, to make people want to watch more of their videos. It's that kind of stuff that you need to learn how to do. And if you know how to do that, then you're going to succeed in every single app imaginable.
You're going to succeed in
life.
Anything you do.
Yeah.
You get a date,
Yeah.
Make a new friend. It all starts with a good story. That's what we've been doing since we were cavemen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sitting around a fire telling stories.
Okay, today I'm going to recommend Halo Infinite. The multiplayer is free if you have Game Pass on Xbox. So I've been on that like, woo, 24/7, getting the gang back together again,
You've
getting
been
headshots.
obsessed. We
headshots.
did a dopamine detox recently, and you went from no stimulation to just only Halo.
Only Halo. Only Halo.
If you like this episode, make sure to like, subscribe, jingle all our bells and buttons. Check out these other episodes next to binge all our other episodes. And we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.